Dearly redheaded, we are choosing consciousness today to get through this thing called grief. Interesting word, grief. It means love, which makes for a mighty good joke. But I'm here to tell you, there's nothing else. Just joy. And if the big picture tends to bring you down, go crazy once your life goes. Woo!
All right, back with Shell, episode number 5. Woohoo! We're talking about, well, we've been going on some tangents, but I'm trying to talk about how people get into and being indoctrinated into adopting manipulative folks, their method of operation. This is actually number 4. I had finished 3. They use moral guilt as a leash. They say things like, don't you care about family? Real friends don't abandon people. You know how they are. Just be the bigger person. Now they feel noble for pushing you to tolerate disrespect. I was always a being person, Shelly. So I never looked at somebody as, because they were family, I was loyal, but I wasn't going to, if somebody else made more sense to me outside the family, I was more of a being, that Buddhist concept of being to being versus falsely elevating a family member. Does that
Me too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also know the other way, because there's a very close family member to me who is an extended family, and she's the opposite. And she is just, well, it's family. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. And it's just, it's frustrating to see that in someone, because it's just blind loyalty at their destruction.
Yeah. And that's where some of my downfall was, and my connection with my mother-in-law was over her abuse. So therefore I thought that when I was abused, she would have a certain respect, not necessarily a loyalty. I didn't expect her to turn against her son, but I expected her to understand that what her son had done was a problem. And it just wasn't like that. And I think it's unfortunate that that's also not talked about more. How if we were cultivated to relate to each other's souls and beings versus.
So what you're saying is, in the moments of abuse, when you're in this and you're looking for somebody who's on the perpetrator side to kind of to understand where you're coming from, and have some true empathy of where, you are putting up with this horrible behavior, but it's not met. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And I go ahead.
How did that, in that moment, can you recall how you felt when you realized that the well is dry in that sense?
My son was on the baseball field, probably 8 or 9. He hit a baseball, sent it to the moon. I was standing between or next to my ex and my mother-in-law. And my ex looked at the ball and said, when I was his age, I could hit it 50 feet further. My mother-in-law got tears in her eyes, looked at her son, and I said out loud, I'm really in the wrong group. How's that?
Oh.
And when one of my sons was telling me he was treated like a prince, I said, don't forget who's king.
Yeah.
How's that for starters?
It's pretty good.
Oh. Yeah. The person who said they never played favorites until they made one of mine their favorite. Yeah, I mean, it's like can't fight City Hall, man. You can try, I guess. All right, this next. Did you have anything else to say? Do you have any eureka moments that you'd like to share?
I know I have many of them, but I'm drawing a blank right now.
That's fine. I can't imagine being you doing this with me because I just grateful that you do. It's easier for me to talk to you than talk to myself. The next one, the reward loyalty and punish neutrality. This is big. If someone is neutral, the narcissist will pressure them. So you believe them? I see where you stand. Wow, I didn't know you were like that. So people pick a side just to avoid becoming the next target. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that. Nobody wants to be the scapegoat. They don't. They don't even want to. It is so something just people avoid at all costs. And it's something that, again, I'm like, bring it. I remember one of my siblings telling me I was going to lose all my nieces and nephews because I wouldn't change a date. They were planning, they knew I was going to be out of town and they were planning a date and inviting everybody to attend this event. And my mother needed to attend the event. And the woman who was helping me care for my mother was not interested in my family garbage. She just wasn't. And I couldn't, I said, hey, I'm going to be out of town. Would you bring my mom to this location? And she said, no. And the sibling kept wanting me to change my plans. And I had the plans for months. I was going out to see my son at a parents' week and at his university. And my sibling basically expected me to sacrifice and change my plans. I started laughing. Yeah. Yeah. I've been, you made me like think about like, I've been over this I dealt with my family, 2014, 2015. And then by 17, 18, I was separated to the extent that, they had means to see my mother, but they chose to say that I didn't give them those opportunities, and that's fine. I think I was so badly demonized, I had to get to the place where I was like Teflon. Does that make sense? I mean, the lies were so vile that it would have, I couldn't even begin. And I had the right people around me, fortunately. So there's that. Anything else there you want to say?
No, I don't think so.
They make it feel like a mission. They'll frame you as the villain and themselves as a victim. I'm protecting them. I'm standing up for what's right. Meanwhile, they're helping a predator keep control. Yeah, I had very interesting things happen where my mother was concerned that I just kept plowing through. Through. That you want to say anything there before I comment?
No, go ahead.
When my mom didn't want to travel, she had made a last attempt to travel. and had a serious seizure. I thought that was going to be the end of her traveling. She was like 88. She didn't want to travel anymore. And the efforts to get this woman to travel, were just ridiculous. And I, I just handled it. What they were saying and the situations they were creating and just what they would write and say was just horrible. There's no way I could even give it an ounce of consideration. My mother did well. She did well with all this, as well as you can when people are breaking your heart, I guess. They hide their hands. They'll never tell the others to do anything directly that looks evil. They'll say, I'm not telling you what to do. I don't want drama. I'm just hurt. But somehow people start attacking you for them anyway. That's the trick. They look innocent while everybody else becomes the weapon. No, I had people that would actually tell others what to do. So I think that's a little gentle. I absolutely had people saying this is what you do. And I had people ganging up. And I think it's because I was on the spectrum and I was so easy to get one by. But that's the whole neurodivergent aspect to this is something that, we are bigger candidates for this type of abuse. And I don't think neurotypicals put as much emphasis on the resolve as we do. At least that's been my experience. We want to know what the fuck happened. We want to know why it happened. And, that's autism. That's the innovation. That's the invention. I feel like I'm innovating psychology. Shelly, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
So I think autistics are changing this environment and making it not the crash course, but definitely making therapists more accountable. And quite frankly, they say therapy is on the rise and the need for therapists and putting, offering free degrees in psychology to beef up the field. But I think we're coming into self and working on consciousness and all that stuff it's lonely, but it and coaching over therapy where coaches can be a little more honest and beat things up with more authenticity. I'm not saying it makes it easier, but I'm saying that the resources are there now where truth and authenticity isn't in a room, where someone's being paid $250 to make you feel good about yourself for 45 minutes.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think the AI contribution is good and bad. But I think the AI contribution where consciousness is concerned is a big deal. I started to watch this morning it was on Gaia, and I don't remember the gentleman's name. He talked so matter-of-factly about his journey and his soul and why he's here and this time around, how he's cultivating AI in certain capacities and what led him to know in previous lives that AI was going to be the thing that he was developed this time around. It was very, very fascinating.
Wow.
Yeah. I only recently subscribed to Gaia. Dr. Brooks had suggested it, and I just had never, thought about it, which I don't know what that sounds like. But I think AI, it's again, it's helping the soul remember in an odd sort of way. So, my dear, oh shit, I should see. What? Time.
15 minutes.
Oh, we're at 15 minutes. All right, so, oh, come on, Shelly, say something wonderful, will you?
Oh, I don't know what to say, honestly.
You want to pick on therapists some more?
No, I mean, I don't want to pick on therapists. I think therapists do great work, but for the majority, for the authentic ones, there's probably a bunch out there that don't. But I think there is incentive to keep people in therapy forever instead of actual healing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money in it, and unfortunately that skews motivations and incentives.
And you think about, I'm sorry, keep going.
No, go ahead.
And you think about the mentality behind being the expert or having the knowledge or having the key to the city. And that never works in any field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had never really thought about that before until fairly recently. Like I thought, and this is me now, and we all know that I'm a little different. I'm not going to say unique. But when I was in therapy, I felt like an equal with the therapist. I didn't feel like, I felt like it was two people trying to solve a puzzle. I didn't feel less, here I am, I'm coming to you, you're a tool, help. And I hear so many people of late complain about how their therapists their suggestions are, I don't know what I want to say, off the mark, not helpful enough, still meeting you where you're at, telling you to meditate and exercise and call me in the morning type of thing. But as soon as somebody can have something over you, a degree, whatever it is, whatever they deem is their, whatever feeds their ego.
Right, because they are not immune to having the same types of behavior for people that we're going to try to learn about.
Yeah. Yeah. How many therapists have been targeted or duped? I've known, a handful that admit it. I have somebody in my life, and I talk to a lot of therapists, and I have somebody in my life who is going through something that, and this applies to regular people all the time, but also to therapists, the point you made, they're going through something that impedes them from helping me as a result because they're just on the front lines.
Right.
And, all these younger therapists who don't have the experience, the knowledge,
and again, it's life, and they might be going through the throes of a not so great relationship or an ending of one or experiencing something pretty traumatic where the advice or direction that they're giving is going to be infiltrated by their own experiences too. Not that should happen, but that doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yes, I can remember my psychologist saying to me that where my kids were concerned, I had to healthily detach from being pathologized, the next generation of abuse and gaslighting. And then I have a rage episode, and he flip-flopped and said, you have to rebuild your relationship with your kids. And I was like, well, no shit. Great advice. But what the hell happened? You know, I finally got this rage out of me, warranted rage. And now, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you know, isn't that a good thing? Isn't there any aspect of it that was a good thing?
And that's how I like to think about it, because it's all part of the journey. It's all gaining more knowledge, gaining more insight.
Well, it spoke to the magnitude of the problem. It spoke to not having. I mean, I can remember saying to him that 6 months with the roommate had the same effect on my brain as 20 years with my ex-husband. Could I have been more clear? So, well, so what should I do?
I mean,
My mother's about to die. So what should I do? I don't know. I just think I as the comedian in me is going to have a field day with therapists. I can't help it. It's just like making fun of elementary school teachers. I just I just couldn't help myself. I just, the conversations and the perspectives and on little boys was like, am I in the Twilight Zone? And you know, that's very often what it feels like, talking to people who, and I don't envy it. It's not something I never wanted to teach. You know, I don't want to become a therapist. My God, I just, whew. But it's going to be interesting where this goes. And I'm very glad. I think that humor is becoming a bigger part of this. How do you not make fun of this stuff?
Yeah.
So, you, well, let me not go there. What are we doing for time-wise? 23. Oh, we're at 23. We got to pull a few more minutes out of our tuchus. Is there anything that you and I know I'm putting you on the spot, but is there anything else that you think I should address? Because I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing this. I want the experts to share their experiences on the things I said in the first or second episode. But is there any aspect of this that needs attention, that is ring-a-ding for you?
In what subject? What part of what we spoke about, or all of it?
Well, all of it. Is there a whole? Is there something that I'm missing? I feel like I'm taught every time I talk to somebody. I'm being taught. I mean, that doctor you mentioned, Sam.
Oh, the Professor Sam Vaknin.
In the seminar that I was listening to, he spoke to the equality of the genders in all of this.
Yes, he always does.
So, you know, the equal, men and women being equal, and narcissism, sociopathy, however, whatever term he was used, that there is no gender that prevails.
No, he describes it as equal between narcissism, borderline, you know, all those.
More men being diagnosed with borderline.
He's equal of men and women.
More right. That's how I meant it. But more than
I think
making it equal. How about that?
Right, because I think in years past it was always, men are more narcissistic and women are more borderline or more histrionic or more whatever, bipolar, all these other things going on. But really, he says that it's equal and it's flip-flopped. It's like there's equal amounts of men and women who are narcissistic and borderline and all those. And he when he's describing it, he like always seems to start off with, I may say he or she, but you can just flip them because it doesn't matter. The roles can be reversed at any time.
Yeah, he's
same thing with when he talks about like the mother wound, those initial caregivers. He says he always seems to mention that it doesn't mean it's the mother. It's just the figure. It could be the father. It could be whoever that was the caretaker.
Yes, he has a wickedly dry sense of humor.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah. There was something else that he said about the mother that when he started talking about the whether it was the mother wound or however he phrased it, that made me say I gotta start taking notes. Anything else you can say where he's concerned about his take on things? I found him to be very. Let me think of how to say this. He was very wanting to dispel a lot of the myths surrounding how this stuff manifests and plays out.
That's why I liked him. He has like this no bullshit approach to it where he breaks it down and dispels any of these, he calls them self-styled experts.
Yeah, those types.
Those guru types,
Yeah, I'm the accidentally informed because I couldn't find the help I needed. Do you ever see that meme? It's Leonardo DiCaprio and he's got a martini in his hand, and the meme is, the one I'm going to say? Mm-hmm. What's it say? Now that I'm educated, enjoy my educated ass on all this stuff. Do you know the one I mean?
I don't know what it says, but I know the visual.
Yeah, he basically says now that I've, had to educate myself, enjoy my educated ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will send that to you, that seminar, and maybe we can talk about it more, because I did not realize, and I sense he's got a small undercurrent of a few things are flashing through my brain because I'm trying to remember and talk at the same time, which never works. But I think he's a little incensed as to having been one of the first and where it's gone. I mean, sometimes there's no benefit in being a trailblazer, and this is one of those subjects. Yeah. All right, my dear. Hey, Brian. Hey. I'm looking down because I know my eyes are a mess. Not that I really care, but
I can't see it.
I know, and I wear glasses, so who really gives a shit? Yeah. Brian, thank you. I know sometimes these must be difficult to listen to us, but I really do think they make a difference, even if we are thinking and ranting simultaneously.
I had fun.
You had fun? Yeah. I almost believe you.
Mm-hmm.
Shelly?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You were just so welcomed. I thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
I'll call you on my way back.
Cool.
Ciao.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening and supporting Natural Born Redhead. If you follow the bouncing balls, please like and subscribe. If you know someone interested in sparing others grief and inciting joy, message me on Facebook or reach out via my website, Natural Born Redhead. J-Ma.